Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and today we've got the infotainment breakdown on the 2024 Toyota Crown. In this video, we're going to show you how to use the digital gauge cluster, the digital center touch screen. We're going to show you how to pair up a phone, use Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. We're going to test out the voice controls and try to answer any questions you might have on the car. Now, first things first, if you want to see anything else on the Toyota Crown, check the link below. We've got a full review, we've got a fuel economy test, we've got a breakdown on the JBL audio system, so you can find that all linked below. Also, if you're renting one of these cars or if you just purchased one, I highly recommend spend time in a static location, preferably somewhere out of the sun, comfortable, maybe your driveway. Play around with the system, get comfortable. You'll enjoy your car more if you know how to use some of the tips and tricks and features. But without any further ado, let's hop on in. Right up in front of us, we've got a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. This is pretty similar to what we're seeing on a lot of newer Toyota vehicles. It's controlled through this directional pad on the left side of the steering wheel. Taking more of a look at the steering wheel, we see we've got a back button for that infotainment screen, a call button. You're going to answer calls or hang up calls that way. Volume control, voice control. If you press this once, you're going to get the vehicle's built-in voice control. If you press and hold it, you're going to get your phone's voice assistant if you have your phone connected via CarPlay or Android Auto. Top right is all cruise control, and then below that, track selection, and below that, audio mode. Right in front of us, essentially the screen is broken up into three different segments: the left, the center, and the right. Before we get into those, you see on the top left, you've got outside temperature. Top right, you've got a clock. Right in the middle, you've got your digital speed, and below that, the gear selected. Around that, some icons for your cruise control system. I wonder if we can turn that off. Doesn't seem like it. Moving over to the bottom left, we've got our engine coolant. We've got a tripometer that can be cycled through with this button way over here to go from trip A, trip B, distance to service, and then your odometer. Is that all? Yep. And then over on the bottom right, you've got a fuel gauge and your distance to empty, and currently, the way we're seeing this one is a little kilometers per hour readout as well. Then you get into your three main screen segments. So on the left side, we've got a power meter showing us how much we're either putting out or taking back into the batteries. In the center, we've got a customizable screen. We'll get to that in a moment. On the right, you've got an analog speedometer layout. But if I press this left button, you can see those gauges go away. And now we've just got the digital screens. If I press one more time, they're back. So this is all customizable. And you customize it by pressing and holding this OK button. And then you're controlling one of the three different screens around the, one of the three different menus, I should say, within the screen. So you start on the center one, you can press the left button over to the left one, press the right twice to get over to the right. So let's start with the center. You can bring up a settings screen. You can go down to see if you have any alerts for your vehicle. Again, I'm pressing up and down now on this directional pad. You can have a blank screen, a driving support screen, or a little bit of a map. And if you press OK on that map, it gets a little bit larger and your gauges go away there. And let's try clicking and holding on the settings here, or just clicking. Then you can adjust the brightness of the screen, your lane departure assist, pretty much a lot of these safety features you can turn on or off. Rear cross traffic alert, rear cross detection, something detection, parking blind, parking spot. I don't know what all these acronyms mean. I wish I did. I'm sorry. This is a way to turn on or off the recommendation of you taking a break while you're driving, your traffic jam assist, DMC recording. I don't 100% know what that is. I'm sorry. I assume it's some sort of drive motor control recording. Lane keeping assist. Man, you can really get into the settings menu deep in here. It's like I need to have a menu next to me, or a manual. Dynamic radar cruise control. A lot of customization here. Extended resume time, acceleration. How aggressively do you want it to accelerate with the dynamic cruise control? You can press through that. The guide message, curb speed reduction. I like having that off. There's a lot of customization there. Front collision, front. Some of you are going to roast me for not having these all these acronyms down. I'm sorry. I'm not a specific Toyota professional. I'm just a car professional. Tire pressure warning system setting. Those are in there, and then information for your scheduled maintenance. And then there's more. Oil maintenance, rear seat reminder, driver monitor settings. You probably want to have your driver monitor alert off because that got annoying when I was driving on the highway. Fuel economy test. Okay, did we have any more settings to get to down there? I saw, yep, all right, meter settings now. This, if you press and hold OK, You can change your language between English, Spanish, and French for the gauge cluster. Your units, your meter type. Okay, so here's where we see the analog on both sides. This one is giving us just one big analog in the center. That one's actually kind of nice because who needs an analog speedometer? And then this one's just a big old digital. All right, so a lot of customization there. Oh, and then meter style. Sorry, we had meter type and now meter style. So we're on smart. Here's casual. Okay. Tough. Yes, very tough. And sporty. Ooh, you know, that one's actually kind of cool. I wonder if, hopefully Toyota doesn't mind if I leave that on there. That's actually kind of nice. All right, so a lot of customization. I'm like, I don't remember this from a lot of older or other Toyota products I've driven, so it's cool that you can customize it that much. Then we go over to the left, and then, or sorry, press and hold OK again, back. Now, press and hold OK. Then we can get over and change what we're seeing on the left side screen menu, so we can choose from tire pressure, all-wheel drive, blank, fuel economy, eco score, EV ratio, and navigation. And then if we press over to the right, we can go through energy monitor, tire pressure monitor, all-wheel drive. Is this giving us all the same options? Eco score, EV ratio, driving support, drive info. No, they're slightly different. I don't know why Toyota gives us slightly different menu options on the right side versus the left, but that is how it is. Okay, longer than I expected to spend on that center menu. I didn't realize the Crown had so many options in there, but this is cool. I mean, if they're going to have the technology, why not give us more customization, right? Now making our way over to the center screen. And this is also a 12.3-inch display, fully touchscreen capable, and it doesn't exactly have a home menu. Your closest to a home screen is going to be your navigation screen here. While that navigation screen is up, you get this persistent side menu that's giving you quick toggle access to your phone projection, navigation, media, phone, vehicle, and settings. And then on the top right, you have a clock and some information about your phone's connectivity status and if you have anything wirelessly charging. Well, we're here with the built-in navigation. It's loosely based on Google Maps, so you have some live traffic readouts here. Oh, I'm getting an unfortunate lag, though, as I pinch and zoom. Can we move it around? It is moving decently with decent refresh, but not liking that pinch and zoom lag. You can change it around like that, get it north-facing. You can also just click these buttons to zoom in or out. Nice big controls on this newer Toyota system. It's easy to press things. This search icon, anytime you see this, it'll bring up the voice search, but we're going to get to those voice controls here in a little bit. I typically use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay for my navigation, but if you're somebody who wants to use the car's built-in nav regularly, then you're going to want to play around and get comfortable with that nav system. Moving down on the left, we get to our audio screen. Our audio's off right now, but if I enable the audio, turn the volume down, you can see what your radio screen looks like, showing you your favorites, and then you can tune to a direct station here. Press it in, tune, you can see everything's responding very quickly. And I can move up or down from the channel right in there. Here's your scan functionality. We do have support for HD radio here. Here's what your Sirius XM is going to look like as well. Let's go to a sports station, NFL play-by-play. What plays on the NFL play-by-play channels on the off-season?
Rockies taking the San Francisco Giants. Rockies on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 848. Giants on Internet 863. 5:05 p.m. New York Yankees taking the Houston Astros. Yankees on Sirius and XM channels 89. Internet
pretty much just playing information about other sports, it sounds like. Okay. Making our way out, you can also get to all your different sources using the source button. You can see all of your other sort of inputs. Here's what your USB is going to look like, for example. And I'm just realizing that I forgot to max out the brightness for the screen. So we're going to take a quick shortcut here, go to display, and turn that brightness all the way up. That should look a little better for you all. Making our way down to the phone screen. When you have a phone paired up for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, you're not going to see anything here. But if you weren't using phone projection and you were simply paired via Bluetooth, you could make calls or view messages from the screen. Then making our way down further, we get the vehicle menu. Now with the Crown, you get a few more options than some of the other Toyota vehicles. Under climate, you have a few changes you can make to climate. You pretty much just kind of, wait a minute. All right, it's actually kind of limited functionality because you do have physical climate controls down below the screen. So I don't really know why that climate screen exists, but it's there. And then you have a few options such as eco, heat, and cool, turning your de-icer on or off, which again you can also do with a physical button, or change everything to auto. Coming on back, going into comfort. Again, the ability to turn on or off the auto heated seat and cooled seat and heated steering wheel controls. This is going to be if when you use the automatic climate control, if you want it to automatically heat or cool your seat in accordance. Under trip information, you can see how economically you've been driving over the last 15 miles. And if you go under history, you can see your different updated trips for how or what sort of fuel economy you've been getting. Energy flow, I myself spend a good amount of time on this screen because I like seeing how much juice I have left in the fairly small 0.6 kilowatt hour battery pack. And I also see, I don't know, I like nerding out about the vehicle's drive system, so I like watching that screen. Under vehicle alert, you can see back on the 12th of April, we needed some maintenance, and it told us that. What happens if you hit play?
Maintenance required. Vehicle maintenance is required. Contact.
Oh, it actually reads out the whole message.
Schedule a maintenance appointment.
Funny. So if you had a low tire or something like that, it would tell you there. And that's all for the vehicle. So now let's get down into settings. I'm not going to go into every single nitty-gritty detail setting here, but let's go through some of the most important stuff. First things first, you're going to see this profile screen under current driver. This is something really nice that Toyota has been implementing into a lot of their new vehicles, and that you can pair up a driver profile to the car and then synchronize from different Toyota and Lexus vehicles, or from driver to driver, your radio presets, your climate controls, and some of the other settings. So you're going to want to set that up for any of the drivers in the house. Under personal info, you can see what devices are connected. You can actually get face identification for this Crown as well, and you can set up different keys, and most importantly, if you go to sell your vehicle, you're going to want to reset all the settings and delete the driver. Under Bluetooth and devices, we can see what all devices are connected. Let's delete Bad Bunny Yaya from this car, because who names their Bluetooth device that? That's pretty silly. All right, and then under General, we've got the ability to change the sensitivity of the screen. I quite like being able to have it very sensitive. Also, you'll notice our screen hasn't been beeping when you touch it, but if you turn this on, then you get that little chime every time you touch something. I like having that off. Under date and time, you're usually going to want to have this set by GPS, but if for some reason you want to augment your clock manually, you can do that there. Keyboard, nothing, language and units. You can change your language, again, between English, Spanish, and French, and change your measurements. Right now, it's based on where the car is located. Moving on down past General to notifications, not really too much useful there, although if you don't want to be notified about certain things while you're driving, you can turn those on or off. Wi-Fi, this is two different functionalities here. The vehicle has a built-in Wi-Fi hotspot that if you pay monthly, you can provide a wireless network for different devices in the car. Think child's devices, or maybe you have a work laptop that you want to have an optional Wi-Fi connection there. You can turn that on, and then under Wi-Fi, this is how you're going to actually connect to a physical Wi-Fi network, such as your home's Wi-Fi, in order to download software updates. Under display, we have the ability to change brightness, which you can see I did earlier, and then you can also change the contrast. Probably going to want to have that near the middle. You can turn the whole display off if you want to have it a little easier on your eyes while you're cruising down at night. Touch it twice to turn it back on. And if you turn off this automatic mode, you can switch manually between daytime and nighttime mode. Some people might prefer driving around with this dark theme, might be a little bit easier on your eyes. Under camera, same thing, you can manually adjust the brightness for the backup camera. Under sound and media, you have your adjustments for the loudness of the phone's ringtone, the system voice, and the ability to change treble, mid-range, and bass for your sound system, as well as front, rear, left, right, fader, and balance. And you have a few other minor settings for the radio systems. Moving down onto navigation, you have a lot of different settings for the vehicle's built-in nav, so if you do plan on using the built-in navigation system, I recommend going through and customizing those settings to your preferences. Under voice and search, we have the ability to have a wake word on or off. Now, I just turned it off so I can say the phrase, "Hey Toyota," with nothing happening. But I'm going to turn it back on, and you'll see when we go through our voice commands that you can use that wake word to not have to press any sort of button and get the voice commands going. Under Vehicle Customize, we have quite a few options here. You have the ability to adjust how sensitive your auto headlights are, how long the lights stay on when you get out of the vehicle, turn your daytime running lamps on or off. Under Illumination, you have a little bit of ambient light here in the car that you can turn the brightness down to under there. Door control, when do you want the doors to lock and unlock? For example, if I put it into drive, the doors lock. If I put it into park, doors lock again. And when you come up and you touch the door handle, do you want just the one door to unlock or all of them? You can even adjust the loudness of the tone that happens when you lock the vehicle. So a good amount of adjustability right there. Under boarding and exit, if you want the seat to slide backward when you turn off the car, make it easier to get in and out of, you can have that on. Under climate, you can have the auto seat temperature be plus or minus 1 or 2 if you're somebody who maybe has certain preferences for their seats. Steering wheel temperature, operation time. Okay, do you want it to stay on a little bit longer or a little bit less long? That's interesting. Under utility, do you want the adaptive cruise control to learn your driving habits? That's kind of nice there. Dealer information, pretty straightforward. If the dealer puts it in when you buy your car, you're going to have information about your dealer there. Under info and security, you can change your vehicle name and reset the system. Another thing you're going to want to do if you go to sell the vehicle. Software update, if you're connected to Wi-Fi, you can see if you got any software updates there. And nothing really useful under apps. Okay, let's go ahead and test out the voice commands now. Hey Toyota, navigate to the nearest Starbucks. Oh, it's really struggling with this one. Yes.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. The closest Starbucks is Starbucks at 2790 Lake Forest
Yes.
Drive. Calculating route to Starbucks.
So that's one way you can wake up the voice command, but you can also, like I said earlier, press this button or that button up there on the screen. It also didn't seem to... Oh, there we go. Man, the system's really running slow. It's a bit disappointing. Cancel navigation.
Sorry, the network is currently busy.
This
Please
isn't...
try again later.
This isn't something I've had happen before with these Toyota products, but that's actually really disappointing that if it doesn't have a good cell connection, then you can't even do something as simple as cancel your nav. That would get really frustrating. Cancel navigation.
Sorry, I'm having trouble understanding you.
Yeah, this is not typical. Cancel the route. Oops, I held the button a little too long apparently. Cancel navigation route. Alright, yeah, this is a bad mark for Toyota. What's the weather like tomorrow?
Here is the weather for Lake Forest, California on Friday, May 10th. Cool with clouds giving way to sun.
So typically it doesn't take that long for that to happen. It usually comes up a good bit quicker. I don't know what's going on right now with the network. I give it more patience for something like going and getting the weather forecast. That's fine. I understand why you need the network for that, but it should have been able to do something like cancel my nav without reaching the network. Usually you can do climate control adjustments as well. Let's see. Turn up the fan speed.
Setting the fan speed to 2.
There you go. Okay, so that one worked pretty well. Okay, let's take a look at Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. We've got our Android Auto device connected already, so I'm going to go up here to the top left. And you can see it's taken up the entire screen. Android Auto's got the nice 2/3, 1/3 split screen setup right now with my navigation on the left and media on the right. We're going to go full screen, Google Maps. You can move around. Good refresh rate there, too. Pinching and zooming works well. And let's take a look at YouTube Music. We'll go home, scroll down, YouTube Music. Let's hit the Super Mix, see what we get. Some Epica there, not too surprising. So right now you can see then we got 2/3 on the left for media, 1/3 on the right for nav, but if I go back home, they flip-flop. And you can swipe through to a few different media options right there, and you can still use your map without going full screen. But to get back to the main Toyota screen, you have to press once to get to there, and then right up here to Toyota, and you're back home. Now let's take a look at how to pair up an iPhone. So we grab our trusty iPhone SE, go to Settings and Bluetooth on the phone, And then on the vehicle screen, I'm going to go down here to the settings icon. I'm going to go to Bluetooth and devices, add another device, disconnect the other devices, and I should see pop up here on my phone down at the bottom, Toyota Crown. Press that. And I'm going to pretty much agree to anything that pops up on both devices. So the phone is asking me to pair, the car is asking me to confirm the code. I press OK, allow contacts and favorites sync. Probably going to get a prompt here soon to use wireless Apple CarPlay. Oh, on the car, it wants me to enable. Yep, and now I'll use it on the phone. Yes. And there we have it. Apple CarPlay taking up the whole screen. Now this is interesting because I believe on the Tacoma, when I tested it a few weeks ago, CarPlay did not take up the whole screen. You still had the persistent Toyota menu on the left. But this one taking up the whole screen, and you can see it's much chunkier looking than Android Auto. It's a higher, or rather a lower resolution. It's going to make the controls easier to press, but it also makes it not look quite as good. Refresh rate is okay. Let's go to Google Maps. It's responding really quickly. I like that. No pinch to zoom ability on the iPhone, so to zoom in or out, you got to use these buttons. Again, yeah, everything just much chunkier. Let's go north up, see how that looks. Okay. Take a look at YouTube Music. Again, hit the super mix, see what we're getting out of the iPhone. Let me guess, Young Gravy? No, some Noga Erez. Okay, that's what we're getting out of that one. And again, to go home to the Toyota menu, you got to bring up your apps right there and hit Toyota. So there it is, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, voice commands, all the infotainment goodies here on the new Toyota Crown. If there's anything I missed that you're trying to know, let me know in the comments. I'll try to get back to you and answer via there. But overall, pretty competent system. Not sure why we're having those connectivity issues for the voice commands, but hopefully that's not something that owners regularly see. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.